positives. Our injured players are progressing. So, missing a couple of key components, not necessarily even from a production standpoint, but from a leadership standpoint on the floor, right? Because right now, if you look back at the box scores from that last weekend, I think pretty much every freshman is getting time. And that's really helpful for them. That is considered a positive. But I think having the leadership on the floor would really help relax them, allow them to play a little bit more free. I thought throughout the weekend they showed progress, and that's really important. We did not play great, especially on Friday night. And we had some real conversations as a team, and we went in Saturday against Duluth and just competed hard, right? And when they were the number 7 team in the country, we're a team that was reeling a little bit, and to compete the way we did, I was really proud of them. So I think that's a positive. Outside of that, just again, a lot of opportunities to learn from and film and stuff like that. You can't when you don't win a set an entire weekend, you can't just pretend like, oh, there's a lot of positives to take from it. There aren't many positives, and I think the film and the learning is probably the biggest ones.
So I believe it's 4 losses against ranked teams and 2 more losses against teams that were in the tournament last year. How are you hoping that gauntlet of games has prepared you for the GLIAC schedule?
I think, yeah, hopefully it does exactly that. Prepares us for the good opponents. And I think the hardest thing is kind of managing, when we made this schedule, we had been talking ad nauseum about, hey, this is going to be hard. We're going to have to survive through these first 2 weekends, no matter whether we had everybody and playing our best or we are dealing with what we're dealing with. It was going to be hard no matter what. And the hope is that coming out of this, we feel like, hey, we learned a lot. We're prepared for what's to come. The biggest question mark in my mind truly is like, has our confidence been rattled because we're not getting the results on the court, even though we talk about that not mattering at this point in the game? How shaken is our confidence? I can tell you from practicing yesterday and talking yesterday, I feel like we're in a good place, right? We watch the film, we identify areas we need to get better, we get in the gym and we work hard. And so I do think, we're as prepared as we can be going into it against Davenport and Grand Valley, who are both quality opponents. And we have to be ready and hope that this kind of home court advantage plays in our favor.
So as you mentioned, Davenport, Grand Valley coming up. Talk me through those 2 matchups.
Yeah, so Davenport, so we play first on Friday. They lost some of their key offensive players in particular, and their libero, but Brian is a good coach and he knows the game well, and he's going to have his athletes prepared. Maybe they're not as physically dominant as they could be, but in terms of game preparation, keying in on the players that are probably going to be successful for us, and he's gonna scout them and be ready. And so we just got to be kind of ready for a little bit more of a scrappy matchup on Friday, and then it's going to kind of be the opposite on Saturday. Grand Valley is very physical, very big at the net, and so we're going to have to be ready for them to try to kind of impose their will against us. And again, Jason, great coach, and so I think Grand Valley has those physical tools that we're going to have to be ready for, and that's what we're preparing for in the gym every day. Our biggest issue this last weekend was our blocking defense. We weren't taking the ball nearly as much as we should be. We weren't getting in front of hitters as enough as we should be. And so when you're playing teams like Davenport, who's going to keep the ball off the floor and keep putting it on you, you got to be ready for that ball to come back consistently. And then when you're playing Grand Valley, you got to learn how to get in front of those hitters, slow the ball down so that we can transition out and play our defense. So 2 very different teams that are going to give us different looks, but I do think we have the athletes to kind of match up well with them.
Have any players from an individual standpoint impressed you so far?
It's hard. Like Megan Meyer is a good example of somebody who just gets the job done in the middle, right? She was on the all-tournament team. Every team in the building this weekend knew we were going to set her. So if you watch any of the Duluth film, our last match of the weekend, they were triple blocking our middle. All three front row players were finding Megan in the middle and blocking her. Like, that's crazy. And she was still finding production. She still hit at a high efficiency rate. I thought Lisa Haugen coming in, playing some DS for us, I thought she did a really good job, her serve receive in particular. I thought Kenzie Gruner in the middle came in and provided some offensive support and blocking for us. She's not quite as flashy as Megan Kenzie, but we just look at the statistics, she's pretty consistently successful. And we gave every freshman, we had 4 rotating freshmen on the outside. And I think each one of them gave us little bits that we can learn from and get better. It's just when you're a freshman, you're getting trial by fire where you just get thrown out there. I was impressed with their composure and talking to them after matches. Their understanding of the game is growing every single match. So I think those are the main components that I feel good about.
So that experience gives the freshmen more confidence going forward?
Yeah, you hope. You hope that they don't, if they have some struggles. Like there was one match where every one of our outsides hit negative. Tough to win when all your outsides are hitting negative. But that was early in the weekend. They turned it around. Remy Madison came in at the end of that Duluth match and did really well. I thought Sydney Bartles, playing all the way around, did really well. And so it's just, yeah, you're right. You get out there, you get that experience. You hope that it doesn't shake you too much because those were good teams, right? Like, you keep harping on it, but like, it's true. Like, St. Cloud, I watched St. Cloud play Central Washington, Central Washington was in the 23. I think they're like 13 in the country right now. They beat St. Cloud, the number 5 team in the country. They swept the number 7 team in the country on their home floor. We were watching. I brought my team to watch Central Washington play St. Cloud, and I'm just like, guys, like, this potentially is a Final Four matchup in the national tournament. Like, I know there are peers, but it doesn't mean you can't learn from your peers. So I'm watching them play and saying, what are they doing that we're not doing, right? Because you stand our team next to their team, they're not different. It's just execution of skill, defensive system, offensive system, confidence. All those things go into being successful. And right now, we're just not quite there in any of those areas. And we got to get there. But I don't remember your question. I went on a rant. But,
No, it's okay.
but truly, like, that weekend was really, really beneficial. And I chatted a lot with all the coaches, because all the coaches there, like I said, Central Washington's coach has been there for 28 years. Minnesota Duluth, consistently great. Their coach has been there forever. St. Cloud's coach, that he's brought his team from a nothing team to who they are now. It's a national contender. Even Michigan Tech, I know he hated it, yeah, but I love their coach. I think he's a great guy, and I think he knows a lot about the game, and he's doing a really nice job there. So who am I to think that I can't learn from them? And so I think it's really important for our team to understand, have some humble pie, and say, hey, we're not there yet. Look at these teams who are there, and let's learn from them. Let's watch. Let's discuss what they're doing. We watch film of other teams at our level and say, what are they doing that we're not, that we can get a little bit better at, right? If we can take from all these great teams and put it together, we have the ability to get to that place. But it's a long road, and I listen to people talking about us, and I'm not saying that negatively. They support us. Like, we had a bad weekend, right? And from a fan perspective, you're just watching scores come in, you're going, yikes. And all I'm hearing is, coach, you got this. We know you're going to get there. We know you're going to get there. And that provides not only me, but it provides our program some understanding. Like, we have the support. We just got to show up. We got to keep grinding and getting better. And truly, this is a reset. This is the start of our conference play. And we said that gauntlet was going to be tough. We survived it. We're still here. We're still standing. Now we got to go and refocus and start to get that confidence going in our play a little bit better, regardless of who's available and who's not available, right? You want everyone to be free and available to play, but that's not the case, and we just got to find a way to battle through it.